Dan at IFE 2023, and I'm joined by Anna at the Austrade stand. How are we doing today?
I'm doing very well, thank you. Thanks for coming over, Dan.
Yes, it's nice to see the increased size of the booth as well this year.
I know, every year. I think first year we were half of the front bit, now last year we were double, now we're triple the size. So it's
Absolutely.
very exciting.
Yeah. So also what's new is the FTA, the free trade agreement between Australia and the UK.
Yes.
Can you give me a little overview on how that's come about?
Absolutely. Well, the Australia-UK free trade agreement was being negotiated for a couple of years, but it entered into force in May last year. So we're almost at 1 year mark, and it's been a really good, productive free trade agreement between the two countries. The biggest change, what it allowed us to achieve, is that about 30 years ago, Australia used to be one of the major agribusiness trading partners for the UK, but then the EU was formed, significant tariffs were introduced, anywhere between 5% to 20% on different products. So it became really challenging for Australian products to compete in this market and for the UK to source those products from Australia. So the FTA has eliminated 90% of those tariffs, which means that it's allowed more Australian products to enter the market, more competition and more opportunities for us to do more business together.
Of course, yeah. So included in this agreement, obviously, are some very particular strategies and initiatives, effective elements.
Yeah.
Are there any standout elements and strategies of this agreement?
Well, I think the standout is that we've had a look at the areas of where the UK has demand for certain Australian products, and we've prioritised how we can focus on, first of all, obviously the reduction of those tariffs, but second, also education around how can we help facilitate more of those products to come to the UK, educate UK consumers, educate UK buyers on what Australia has to offer, and also make it easier to do business across borders, so eliminate some of the restrictive paperwork and practices that might also be preventing the trade flows in both directions.
Absolutely. So looking at where we were last year, looking at where we are today, obviously there's an increase in brands wanting to present themselves here.
Yes.
How have you found things just today? Has there been a positive attitude towards these brands being in the UK?
Yes, we've had some great successes in the last year. We've had several Australian seafood products that were able to enter the market and now available both in retail as well as in restaurants. So unique Australian produce like Glacier 51 toothfish, like Fremantle octopus, as well as Yarra Valley caviar. Some of them are already in Selfridges and Whole Foods. Others are launching their lines in Harrods. They're already available in some of the restaurants like Nobu, Sexy Fish, Rockpool here in the UK, and they're obviously exploring other opportunities. We're also seeing Australian honeys with some unique properties being launched in different stores such as Harrods, but also exploring other opportunities. We've seen some really health-focused Australian products like Fire Health, who actually won an award here at IFE yesterday, and they're now available in Holland Barrett and in Planet Organic. We've also seen some products like Fable that are basically meat replacement mushrooms being utilised by chefs here in the UK, as well as available in stores like Holland and Barrett as well.
Yeah. There's quite a broad range of products there, everything from the wholesale and the grocery right down to food service, essentially. Are there any standout areas that you're seeing? I know you mentioned seafood there was one of the standout. Are you finding there's a particular direction, a particular attitude?
I think the standout areas is that the products that will work in the UK are those Australian products that are unique and different. So products that offer something that's not currently available on the market. And I think that's why we've seen so much success with seafood, because of our coastline and where we are located. We do have different varietals of seafood that are available anywhere else in the world. So those products like the Glacier 51, we also have roller is lobster, which is quite different to traditional lobster. We're seeing them do really well and generate a lot of interest. I mentioned honey. Australia has a very different, unique biodiversity. We've got really different botanicals, different bushlands to the rest of the world. So that allows us to source honey that's quite different. Jarrah honey is not available anywhere else in the world. It's not produced anywhere else in the world. But also a lot of our producers utilize those ingredients in different products, like spirits, for example. We have a big spirits section here today, and you'd go, well, why would you want to bring spirits to the UK? You know, everyone knows gin, whiskey from the UK are some of the best in the world. Absolutely, but what Australia can offer is a different variety and different offerings, because our suppliers are using those unique ingredients and botanicals in their mixtures, creating different flavours and new tastes.
Yeah, well, I'm definitely excited to try some new flavours and tastes from Australia. A great way to do that is IFE. How have you found the show so far, and what are brands saying?
Yeah, look, the show's fantastic. Like I said, it's our 3rd year here. We find that it attracts a really good quality audience, good buyers from across food service, retail, chefs, you name it. We find that they're always here, they're always present, they come through. It's a great opportunity for them to experience products, because we have something different and unique. It's not like they can go, oh, we've already tasted it somewhere else. So for us, it's really important to be able to come to shows like IFE so people can actually taste, see the difference and understand what we're talking about.
Yeah, it allows us to sort of appreciate more that there is different options out there. Obviously, reducing the restrictions after this agreement is going to allow a massive increase, hopefully.
Absolutely. That's why we're here for. We'd love to see more Australian products here. At the moment, so I think UK imports almost half the food that's consumed here, but Australian exports only less than 1% of that. So we really don't see a lot of Australian products on the market. No. So hopefully on the back of the FTA we will see more, and British consumers will be able to experience more of those unique Australian flavours.
It's a very exciting future ahead then.
Yes, absolutely.
So for those brands who are looking at, diversifying and reaching new audiences, how can they come about that? What advice do you have for them?
Well, I think my general advice is, first of all, do your market research and understand if there's an opportunity for you in the market. I mentioned a lot of words like unique, different, and that's because that's really where there's opportunity. This is a very competitive market. Europe is really close. There's some really great offerings that are available here. So I think products that will succeed in the UK are really those ones that have that sort of something different, a different proposition, a different offering. So do your research and see if there's a gap opportunity for you in this market. And then I guess, you could reach out to Austrade. We're here to help businesses expand to international markets like the UK. There's also state government offices that can help businesses do that. And of course the IFE. So, you can be part of Australia presence at IFE, but you can also be as part of the broader presence at IFE. There's lots of businesses and companies around showcasing their products, and it's a great way to tell the market your story and what you do.
Absolutely. Well, thank you. And just lastly, if there was a brand here that I should go and try, who would it be?
Oh, you can't do that to me. I don't like picking favourites.
How many have you got here?
Are you a beer drinker?
Oh, I am.
Ooh.
But I do know Australia has very good wine.
We do have good wine, yes. So you do have wine behind us. So I think quite an interesting product that we have is Small Things Wine. So it's a premium wine in a can, which is quite a different offering, right? And the good story behind it is that it reduces wastage, because you just open a can, you pour it in a glass, and you enjoy just a glass of wine. It also reduces carbon footprint, because cans are lighter and easier to transport than bottles. So it's a really good story, and often when you buy canned wine you can't experience that quality, but with the Small Things you absolutely can.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, thank you so much for joining me, Anna.
No
and I'm definitely going to have a walk around and try some Australian produce.
Please do.
Thank you.
Thanks very much.